Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the impossible has been attained. The Hate Bit Podcast rides one more time. You're surprised. I knew you were. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am your host, Kaos. Welcome to Monday Night Chaos and my cohorts, as it should have been for quite some time, all the way coming from the East Coast over there in some part of Pennsylvania. He won't tell me exactly where. AlphaOmegaSin, say hi to the nice people.
Hello, nice people. How are you doing there? Just pulling an old Al Bundy, 4 touchdowns in a single game. Pretty good, pretty good. And yeah, that was it. I had nothing else clever to follow it up with. It was just Married with Children lines. Fuck you.
All right then. And from parts unknown, the tennis man in a Humphrey Bogart movie, Mr. Razörfist. Tell the nice people, how are you?
Tennis man in Transylvania. I am Razörfist, comedian, gamer, ballerina, one of 2 men on the North American continent who has never been asked to host the Family Feud, and thank you for joining us.
I'm glad you knew about that. See, now, what you didn't know is we had like a real program rolling, and I said no more free jokes, and we went online, and these 2 guys shut up for the first fucking time in their whole life.
We'll see that. I do find that kind of fantastic. Like, we're on a roll, and it's like, now do it for the people, and just cricket sounds and shit. We're all like,
well, we should have planned this shit out. We should have been like, hey, let's talk about this story or that story. You guys,
oh no, it was
that was a shit chunk of the Hate Bit Podcast was us sitting there on fucking IGN. Hey, is this fucking story worth talking about? Is this a piece of shit? Is this can we mock this Jago?
Like, hey guys, look. That's fucking retarded. Yeah!
Now it's just a matter of not having time for all of the retardation.
I mean, there's always time for it. It's just a matter of, can your blood pressure keep up with all of it? And, you know, how long before you end up getting tossed into the fucking loony bin? So,
you know what I
wonder.
You know what I think it is? I think is throwing off our energy. I think it's the fact that we failed to play some taps and fold the American flag for the final piece of Halloween candy this holiday season.
Well, and how appropriate, because as we talked about on the program in weeks past, Halloween this year was graveyard dead. Not a single person in my neighborhood, Razörfist, you ate all the candy. All of it by yourself, didn't you?
All of it. I fed some to some street urchins, but those don't count as trick-or-treaters, I don't think.
No, of course not. And the fact remains, this is the only reason we can actually see you is because you did have 35,000 Snickers just then.
This is true.
You got some calories in your diet, you know, and we appreciate that because you were wasting away for a time there. Now, what were you assholes going off about?
He's rubbing melted chocolate on his gums and shit. And he's trying to just, like, stay calm in a room full of people. Hello? Doing good?
Give me what I need, baby.
It's got to be better than them bringing back that fucking ecto cooler for the holiday season. Boy, who is fucking clamoring for that shit?
Me. Fuck you. How dare you? I'll have you know, I can't. I was wheeled into rooms in a nice bed that electronically can move my fucking pathetic ass up and down because I don't need muscles anymore. I have science. So they do that. They Iron Man me into this fucking bed. 4 IVs in this one, 4 in this one, and I even had the fucking big titty nurse go and put a couple in the goddamn fucking old eye. It was the best. I didn't have it in a can, though. I thought that was unethical to drink it out of a can. Did you see that?
That wasn't ceremonial enough for you? Would you have a chalice? What did you...
I used the skull of my enemies and I drank the ecto cooler. Yes, nostalgia down.
Right.
Like, I saw the little boxes, but I mean, most of us felt ripped off getting a Capri Sun. When you get one of these fucking boxes, like, dude, I've seen fucking queef stains on the inside of some bitch's panties that were more fucking absorbent and soaked up than what they had in there. I'm like, just drips. Also, I hear an ambulance. Somebody in Pittsburgh's dead, so.
What else is new?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
My favorite thing was how they only brought it out to advertise the shittiest Ghostbusters film ever made. like talk about poor ecto cooler. Like, I felt bad for the drink.
Well, no, think about this. Feel bad for that. They had to smash over with the fucking Slimer and the Stay Puft Marshmallow. Had to drag them into this fucking abortion.
Oh god, and the cameos That's the worst part, is the cameos in the fucking movie where they were like, hey, let's reanimate Bill Murray's corpse for this. Let's make sure he's part of this piece of shit.
I just
Well,
like
folks,
that.
there's a new Ghostbusters flick, and the entire surviving original cast featuring Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Sigourney Weaver, and Rick Moranis. We'll all be at home not fucking watching it like the fucking most of us. Congratulations.
Bill Murray managed to look more alive than in Zombieland than he did in that.
He did.
That to me, that's kind of fantastic. But I mean, if anything, even all the shambling undead that they had in Zombieland, that was more than all the motherfuckers that showed up to go see the movie. So it doesn't really matter.
Why, people didn't turn up to go see the Silverback and the Proton Pack? No?
Oh, wait, hold on. I don't think you should say that. She has feelings, you know, even if she says a lot of bigoted, fucked up things online about white people. But I mean, well, gosh damn it. We don't really matter because, well, we're apologists because we're fucking spineless, dickless, ballless, and fucking brainless, apparently. So, I mean, well, why be, you know, why care? Why care? Fuck it. When that bitch was getting put through the ringer, I had a good fucking giggle. I just sat back like this. I don't care. Like, she's a fucking comedian. She can take this shit. Fuck off.
Yeah, comedians bridling. Since when are comedians allowed to bridle a politically incorrect verb? Since when? It's 2016. Can I just ask this? I know this is slightly beside the topic. Not really.
Can I just... Wait, there was a topic?
I know, right?
Fuck topics.
But like, they're talking now about how universities are across the board gonna censor like Huckleberry Finn and shit. You know, the shit that has like racist terminology, like bridling at politically incorrect verbiage in 19th century fiction. Huck Finn is jeteing down Jim Crow country with Shaquille O'Neal on the back of his raft. What do you think's gonna break out here? An a cappella rendition of "We Are the World"? It's the Deep South during the turn of the century. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Well, I mean, dude, like comedians in general, for whatever reason, are constantly targeted because, well, that wasn't very sensitive. Yeah, comedy is about taking the truths of the world and spinning it on its fucking head and presenting it in a humorous way where you can actually deal with this shit rather than becoming like a dying star and caving in on yourself. There's fucking comedy for you. But we can't have that where it's sensitive. Get your fucking hug circles. Everybody got your fucking safety pins? Yeah, jam it into your fucking eye because you're a bunch of fucking little pussies that shouldn't even be allowed in this fucking world. And don't worry, we've got Play-Doh, and we've got the little fucking hug box, we've got the little pets that can sit on your lap because you're fucking goddamn retarded and autistic. Oh, poor you. Oh. Jesus fucking Christ, man. We are an outdated species, my friends. We are outdated. We're fucking...
Yeah, speaking of comedy, we're like that sad comedian who stays just 3 jokes too long on stage. You know what I mean?
Well, to be fair, they all stay 3 jokes too long on stage.
And I'm trying not to, speaking of the safety pins, I'm trying not to read too much into the fact that they're pinning an item that is normally used to hold diapers together. Their lapel.
Dude, when people are pointing it out, be like, you know, that's usually for diapers, which usually babies wear those because they're crying, pissing, and shitting themselves. And you know,
well, and there you've seen the correlation. People who are full of shit are typically held together with safety pins. People and things.
That would explain why they're so fucking fragile, though. So you know what? I like this. That makes a lot of sense. I think you're onto something.
Oh, I hate when you come up with a joke that I wish I thought of. You fucking asshole.
No, you already had it. I just beat you by a nanosecond. That's all.
I'm just glad to be here presently for it, so then I can appreciate it. That's always a good feeling. It's a good feeling, but yeah, they're just a bunch of fucking pussified idiots.
Well, the thing that's stranger is a comedian, a female comedian, people who are notoriously self-promoters and will go to any lengths to do so in order to get themselves over, not aware that Twitter is a fucking work. people say shit on Twitter to hurt other people's feelings to be noticed. How someone wouldn't notice that who's a notorious self-promoter, that is beyond me. Or someone's faking it and putting on a show for you because, oh, woe is me, is also a great way to get yourself over.
Yes, it is. Especially when every fucking...
The fucking president did it.
Oh, God. When every news magazine, every headline, goddamn, for how many weeks was... Leslie Jones, will she be able to peel bananas in a tree ever again? Will she be able to fling feces at hapless passers-by any longer?
I found it really odd that, one, they went and canceled a fucking remake of Congo, which was really depressing. But beyond that, is everybody...
You might want to be careful with that joke. It's an antique.
Hey, you want to know what? Sometimes I like to dust shit off and put it back out there, and I'm like, this shit's fresh again. Look at that. It works again because we got the right ingredients to make that shit shine. One more time. God. But we've got all these people who are big time fucking bleeding hearts, and they're out there with their fucking picket signs, and they're crying and whining and bitching and complaining, and I'm like, you motherfuckers haven't struggled for a single goddamn thing in your entire life. You can't spell struggle. You can't tell me the definition of struggle. And if any of you stupid, ignorant fucking asshats have ever thought for a single second, which I know that you haven't, because all you're doing is just echoing what other people want you to echo, but if you have to speak on behalf of people, you are not empowering them at all. All you're trying to do is just pat yourself on the back and be like, look, I did a good, right? Candy, please. No? Razörfist took the last one. Fuck him. White man takes it again.
The whitest man.
Me?
Well, come on, man. You're so white, you're monochrome right now. So, you know.
My favorite thing is how lost in the shuffle, and this was not by accident, lost in the shuffle of the entire controversy was the fact that the movie is just shit. You know, just play. It's supposed to be a funny movie, and it's just plain.
Well, not only that, I stumbled across. Dig this. Okay, you guys back me up if you're a Netflix user, but it's amazing how Netflix is trying to shape entertainment as we know it, and you might not want to know what I'm talking about. But what I'm talking about is all of this shit that appears on Netflix and the streaming services that is allowed to masquerade and be called a documentary. Have you seen these things? Now, what they are is they're long-form reality TV shows. Like there's one, the Resurrection of Jake the Snake. I don't know if you saw that one. There's the fucking Lemmy movie, which is closer to a documentary than most of them. Yeah. And then there's one about Back to the Future, which I thought was kind of retarded, and it also shows fucking Michael J. Fox with his fucking Parkinson's disease shit going on.
Oh my God.
Like, did we have to show that?
That documentary was so ridiculous because it was like they were interviewing anyone in the heliocentric solar
Anybody
system.
who had ever breathed the same air as somebody who had viewed the film.
It was seriously. They're like, by the time they got to the chick at the cosmetics counter at the Walgreens across from the set, you know, who was like, well, Michael J. Fox came in and bought some Oreos one time, and he was shaking all over the place. Of course, we were having an earthquake, but we couldn't tell. Fucking, you know, it was ridiculous.
Absolutely.
They do keep on shoehorning all this shit, and they never have anybody that it's about that's even remotely affiliated.
No. It's more of them just capturing things around, like, oh look, there's Michael J. Fox in his living room, and now there's a DeLorean on the road. like stuff is happening, but there's no narrative. They're not really documenting anything. They're more or less capturing stuff.
Yeah, the dude. I thought the biggest one was the dude who just turned his car into a DeLorean.
Yeah.
One guy of like 5 billion that have done that. And we're following this one jag-off.
And that dude gets like fucking 17 minutes. They show off the switches and all this stuff. It's like, are you fucking serious? Anyway, but these are not documentaries. But there is one in a similar vein, and you can tell that it doesn't take that long to make movies because they're also, you know, they're all based around like the King of Kong and those bullshit video game documentaries. But, you know, which is basically just grown men getting upset that they didn't win at a video game. But we'll talk about that some other time. This one was called
Dark Side Phil, then, is what you're saying.
Oh,
yes, absolutely.
I'm pretty sure he's made several million videos doing that. That's a lot of documentaries. We should hit up Netflix.
You just string them together. That's all it takes. Yeah. But there's one about Ghostbusters, and it's not really about the movie The Ghostbusters. It's not really about the video game The Ghostbusters. It's not really about the cartoon The Ghostbusters. It's not really about the toys The Ghostbusters. It's about grown people who put on flight suits and go around to conventions and say hi to each other. That's all they do. And then they talk about how happy they are to be part of the Ghostbusters. And I mean, like, you're not a Ghostbuster. You're a guy that goes and shakes the hands of other grown people that wear flight suits.
Wait a minute. Hold on. So they're not Ghostbusters, but I do know somebody, and now I feel like this is hardcore pawn or some shit like that, but I feel like maybe I could hit up the Irate Gamer, and he's used to busting ghosts, so maybe if we go and we get an authority on the topic, he'll be able to speak to the ghost. I saw a picture of him by a gravestone, and he's holding a microphone to it and his ear up to it. And I was like, that looks like a guy who knows some shit about ghosts, except for I just want to know if he got his teeth curb stomped against the tombstone, because if I saw that, I would.
Believe me, if he had such ability, he would have busted the ghost that is his career long ago.
Yeah, he would have.
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure that he did that. If you've seen anything he's done in the past X amount of years, or actually just any video he's done in general, I'm pretty sure he's been trying to.
Why are you following the Irate Gamer?
Out of sheer boredom, and sometimes I'm just like, I hate myself inside. I'm like, you know what? Fuck
what are you talking about? He's like, no. You know what? You know why people watch the Irate Gamer in 2016? Bottled Schadenfreude. That's why. Because anytime you need to feel that overpowering urge of Schadenfreude, if you don't have any clips of CNN on election night handy, you click right on over to the Irate Gamer channel, and it's like instant, hey, there is justice in the world. What the
I mean, look, I could go over there and watch him do box wars, where he just takes each box, and then he opens up, and it's like, this is a phone, all right, a microphone, got a mouse. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. I'm like, well, shit. I need that right there in my life. That seems fantastic.
It's still like, somehow more entertaining than the Ghostbusters film. Still somehow.
Oddly enough, and I'm pretty sure it also generates more money.
Oh, but they're getting a sequel. Didn't you hear?
I heard that they were, and then they were talking about how important it was to go and have this, and then all of a sudden it was quietly like taken behind back, shot a couple of times, and they were just like, did anybody notice that? Okay, we just won't talk about it or acknowledge it at all. But hey, good movie, right? Right? Somebody? No? I'm in the room alone? Okay.
More disturbing about the film, what I was getting to is in that film I was watching about the Ghostbusters, or people who think they're fucking Ghostbusters. Paul Feig, director of the most recent Ghostbusters film, makes an appearance and likes to talk about how much respect and appreciation he has for all the Ghostbusters fans. And he hopes they will come see the new Ghostbusters film. He's plugging a fucking film inside another film.
Oh.
And now what that is evidence that anything he ever said was, disingenuous in the first place. But the point is, not only did that movie not meet expectations at the box office, you guys, just like me, because when you go to the Target or you go look in the toy section. You go look in the toy section just because, and there was a metric shit ton of Ghostbusters toys over here and over there.
Well, and dude, you got
I fear the number that had to be invested in all of these toys that no one gives a good goddamn about and are going to be in clearance at Walmart for a long time.
Dude, you got to see the amount of money that they spent specifically and solely on marketing.
Oh,
how much was it?
They spent so much that the movie still hasn't made enough to cover marketing.
Is it really that bad? So
now, not just that, but somebody pulled up some fun figures because, well, stores can keep track of a whole lot of things because, well, you need to know about your inventory. Yeah, somebody was doing this across various Walmarts and Targets, and they were noticing that the Ghostbusters stuff, the new Ghostbusters shit, and not the actual new Ghostbusters, because that's a cartoon and godly, but no, this new remake, they have that merchandise, then the original merchandise that was put out. Well, the original OG Ghostbusters merchandise was actually selling. All the other shit was collecting dust, getting middle fingers, getting pushed to the side so that somebody could get like Five Nights at Freddy shit, which is just depressing in itself. People are picking up that crap, but not that. So what you're going to do is you're going to see lots of people do, I don't know, some kind of like pickups video where they're going into a Goodwill and they're shopping around with their little phone and stuff, and you're going to see lots of them with clearance tags on top of that, and clearance tags on top of that, because even at a fucking $1.99, it's still a bullshit ripoff because nobody wanted it. No one.
It's like when I bought the Snailians as a kid. What the fuck? What happened there? But no, I can't imagine why. I mean, it's fucking. Have you ever screened? Did you see it in a theater, or did you see it after? Did you pirate it? You can.
I pirated it. I felt bad. It was on the hard drive.
Well, seriously, screen this. Guys out there, now that you don't have to pay money. I mean, you have to purchase it legally with tender from the government. Now that you can get this without, now that you can see this without sauntering on into a theater and wasting your money and time, screen this film for anyone who wasn't already emotionally invested in this film being good because the women's, right? We'll see more belly laughs at a suicide bombing.
Hey, depending on the venue, that could, swing against you. I'm just talking about math,
Now, the movie, the problem is that the way that they went about the movie, they specifically made this movie to, like, oh, wow, well, we see that gender politics is a big thing, so we're going to just put women in the movie and all the starring roles because that's who we want to cater to.
Yeah. Well,
that didn't really do anything. You're supposed to cater to no one and just make a movie. You just want it to be entertaining and funny. And Ghostbusters, in a lot of ways, was kind of groundbreaking because it was a comedy, but it was a dark comedy and slightly a horror movie because some of that shit's kind of scary. Like when you're a little kid, some of that shit's kind of scary. Yeah. And you're taking somebody as big as Bill Murray, because at the time, that motherfucker was king shit.
Yeah.
And you're putting that out in the theaters, and that's amazing. This movie was a slap in the face. And some people felt that the sequel, Ghostbusters 2, was a slap in the face. Oh, no. No. Not like this. Not like this at all. No. This was a different piece.
I think the bigger mistake is to really think that Ghostbusters has legs. For me, the most interesting thing has always been the pseudoscience in how the proton pack and the containment system work. I find that interesting. And we've since found out that that's not how nuclear technology works. So that's all complete bullshit. And to try and drive, the first film was...
But there was a time you were walking around honestly nourishing the suspicion this was valid science. Hey, I'll strap a nuclear reactor onto my back and I'll go catch ghosts for a living.
Yeah, I was 4. What, you know what? Fuck you for going ahead and just marching all over my goddamn wants and desires of being a 4-year-old entrepreneur. You dick. What do you do? You kick Santa Claus in the balls too? Shit. Why are you on here again?
What was it about nuclear shit in the fucking 80s where it was, oh yeah, if you just get some plutonium, you can travel back in time.
Everything was nuclear, man. Just like in the 50s, everything was atomic this, and you'll have an atomic dishwasher. And
don't we have a lot of our best comic book characters, thanks to all things nuclear related, that we can't explain all of it because it's like a big fucking unknown anomaly. So, shit might happen, and I can't even count the amount of horror movies.
No way! I want you to name one good, solid, strong character that has been given to us by radiation or nuclear technology. If you say the Hulk has been. Well, that's a radioactive spider. He wasn't blown up or anything.
Daredevil.
But it still counts as
radioactive and nuclear are not the same thing.
I don't care. Fucking okay. Well, guess
Damn
what?
You and your East Coast education.
all that fucking magic shit with the fucking backpack and busting ghosts because I'm not Chris Bores. So fuck you.
Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four was gamma rays, right? Something.
I don't even know.
I don't even know. Well, I think it's changed a number of times.
It has changed a number of times, and there's very little fantastic about the Fantastic Four. I want to say that.
Okay, that's
that
not
group
true.
is fantastic in name mostly.
I've always wanted to grow some fucking dotted line titties. I always thought that shit would be awesome as fuck. I'd be like, look at this. This is science.
Don't get me wrong. I also do. I think it would be great if some motherfucker was grabbing me and I just became fire. Like, that would be awesome. It's like, I'll show you. You don't go laying your hands on me at the Olive Garden, goddammit.
And you thought there was no sexual frontier left.
No. All hail AlphaOmegaSin for making everyone just want the dotted line titties.
I mean, look, if somebody out there ever saw, like, the Fantastic Four in, well, the Spider-Man cartoon, because I can't think of them in anything
and
else.
And every single person who's listening to this conversation is thinking about Ben Grimm's big rock dick. Fuck all of you.
That, my friends, is what projection sounds like.
The fucking leaning tower.
And that's why they call it
Yell Chaos for like the last 5 minutes. Yell Chaos has just been sitting there. Don't talk about the rock dick. Don't talk about the rock dick. Don't talk about the rock dick.
It becomes that SpongeBob meme. He's just like, I gotta have it.
That's why they call him the Thing, you know.
Diddle. So we've established that essentially a lot of modern movies are fucking rubbish.
We've established that at least one is.
Well, we've established that we never understood nuclear technology either.
I mean, look.
Although we could definitely throw Fan Four Stick in there, though, if we were going to talk about shitty movies. Oh.
Look, both of the Fantastic Four movies that came out before the one that was somehow worse. Somehow, I was already done. I signed off. I was just like, well, I'm done, because I saw the second one in theaters and I just stared at it and was like, that's not Galactus. And I just like, I didn't see the rest of the movie because I remember just being sad. Like I was just like, I'm washed over with sads.
I don't know which one I saw. I just know that it made me hurt in my heart for Michael Chiklis. Like, the commish deserves better than this. He really, really does.
See, again with the Thing. I think Yell Chaos has got a little thing.
I think I'm gonna sneak peek into his mind. I feel like he's got a DeviantArt account, and it's like all of his favorites are nothing but like the Thing, and then like porn of the Thing. Him just banging like every other fucking character. Him and the Hulk. That just makes the most sense. I always figured like he'd be the Little Spoon though. Make more sense.
That reminds me of when She-Hulk banged Juggernaut, and people and all the Avengers were giving her shit, and she's like, I think it was Spider-Man who was like, you know, after you go Juggernaut, it's physically impossible to go back.
I don't know, man. I imagine her pussy, like if she flexes it, it would look like China and Nicole Bass are having an arm wrestling match.
Oh, why did you?
No, I imagine it's more like that thing from Galaxy Quest that just goes like this and smashes things for no apparent reason. Or it looks like Charybdis.
But speaking of Fantastic Four 2, right? Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch the earliest trailer for that? So like you know when that movie was when movies used to come out. This is like 2006, 2007, whenever the fuck that came out.
Way back when.
Yeah, back then for a little while, the coolest shit in the world was to go on appletrailers.com. Because Apple would have the trailers first, and sometimes they would be like prototype trailers and shit. And I don't know if this
what you're talking about.
I don't know if this version of the trailer is still around, but if you get the very first Apple trailers version of Rise of the Silver Surfer, Silver Surfer's stack of dimes dong is flopping in the breeze the entire fucking time. They modeled his dick. I'm not even shitting you.
I mean, look, that's how it should be. Silver Surfer's a bad motherfucker, and I really think that he should just come in and like every time that he's talking, nobody's making eye contact with him. Zero fucking people. Even the production staff, like dude, the boom mic operator, like it just keeps going down because he's just like sorry.
The original Dr. Manhattan. That movie was absolute dog shit, though.
It's kind of depressing because I've just always found the characters to be boring. I was always more like X-Men, Spider-Man, Punisher kind of guy. And
Sue Reed is so boring. She's transparent.
Dotted line titties, man. Come on, she's overpowered as shit though. Like she's so overpowered. It's awesome. Like.
What does she have this week? Like she went first. She started out as just being invisible. Then it was force fields. Now she's got some kind of light telepathy going on. And like, what,
dude? She would be the ultimate side bitch. You could be getting your dick sucked right in front of your fucking wife, and she'd have no fucking idea. This would be fucking great. Like, best shit ever. Goddamn, she's a wonderful woman or fantastic woman. I guess that's what I mean to say. That's more proper term, right? Right? I think it is.
Well, I don't know, man. Reed had to call himself fantastic, so it goes to show what's going on with his ego.
Well, when you can stretch to any length there.
Yeah, that's
we don't know that it's any length. He's always remained within the same room, so you know.
I really
Plastic
feel
Man
like
did some shit like that too.
I seriously feel like he could probably snake a couple drains. I feel like that's also a metaphor, but I'm just saying I don't think there's a limit. I feel like there's no limit. Only the imagination. So okay, here's something. What the fuck are you guys playing? Like right now, game-wise? Anything?
Oh, I've been playing Battlefield 1 because I'm doing a review on it.
You poor bastard.
No, it's good. I'm telling you. It's actually
it?
really good. No, it reminds me of the old Battlefield game. Like, I'm telling you, one of the best PC shooters of all time, like multiplayer shooters anyways, is Battlefield 1942. And Battlefield 1 kind of takes the series back to that, only puts it in the World War I context. And if you're if you're a gun porn addict, like if you just love old school World War I firearms,
it seems that's who those games are built for now. Dude who just loved to look at guns.
If you're that, I don't deny it. I cannot
look at that bluing.
Oh man, was it good for you?
I was talking to someone recently, and she said that the game, because I don't know a lot about the Battlefield series. It's just something I never got into. I knew it existed. That's about as far as I got with it, and I played one of them on PS3, and that was essentially it. But they said that this has a ton of rare guns that you won't see anywhere else, like guns that were manufactured in only like a couple hundred. And then that was it. But they show up in this, and it's like very realistic. Like the bullets will eventually what the fuck is it called when the bullet just starts going lower?
The bullet drift.
Yeah, they were talking about that. They said all the guns handle accurately to their real world counterparts. Yeah. And I thought it was cool that they were putting that much emphasis on it rather than like a major focus on a bunch of arbitrary bullshit that doesn't matter nearly as much.
Yeah.
So I thought that was neat. But is that something that they're still keeping up with?
No, absolutely. And that's this game to the nth degree. But more than that, it's got like a really good, for the first time, like I've played, like Battlefield started as just a multiplayer shooter. You know, there was no single player at all. That's how the series started. So you don't generally expect any kind of emphasis on single player, but they put a pretty good single player campaign on it. They split it up into different parts. It's shorter than shit. Like of course, because it's freaking 2016 and we can't have campaigns longer than 5 minutes anymore, apparently, because it's all about selling people multiplayer packs and season passes and whatever.
I mean, to be fair, most of the people are buying anything that's Call of Duty and Battlefield related. They seem to forget there is a one-player campaign. They're like story mode. Huh? Never heard of her. Go on. That sounds interesting.
It's absolutely factual. But but I found it interesting because it's like each little campaign is kind of split up into the different character classes. So you play a different class each time. So it's kind of like a primer. at the same time as being, you know, just a single player campaign with a story. It's melodramatic as a fucking telenovela on Univision, but you know, it's World War One. You kind of expect the melodrama. It was trench warfare.
I was gonna say, man, I'm just glad that they didn't decide, hey, want to revisit World War II and fight some Nazis again? No, get it. I thought that we want to resurrect that horse. It was beaten to death 40 fucking times.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, look, I wouldn't mind 20 years down the line, maybe having another World War II game, but I think we talked that subject out. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're pretty much done with that. World War I, though, I mean, Battlefield 1942, I don't know if anyone out there's a PC gamer, but they used to, I think one of the first mods for Battlefield 1942, someone made this full-scale World War I mod, and it was badass as shit. And I'm a World War I history nerd anyways. So it already kind of appeals to me, but I fucking love it. Plus, you get to be in the biplanes, doing the dog fights. You're like the fucking Red Baron. It's bad.
See, I like when they start including shit like that into the games. I mean, most of the time, the only time that they deviate from the just on foot type of gameplay is they just throw you into a vehicle.
Yeah.
And then you're just manning a gun. But whenever you get to like start going into dog fights and shit, like, or even like underwater stuff, but not the bad, like it's a platforming game underwater where you're screaming the entire time and you want to break something, but actually good. Yeah, that I like the idea of.
Yeah. What are you playing, Chaos?
Yoshi's Woolly World and Codename Steam.
No. Okay.
Yoshi's Woolly World, I just got to play recently. I went to Jarrett's house and he had the game sitting there. I've been wanting to try this shit for a long time. And
It's
dude,
fucking adorable.
Oh, not only adorable, it is fucking challenging.
It
as
is.
shit.
But you got no clock, so you can take all the time you need, which is nice.
What I was amazed at, speaking of Wii U games and whatnot, I finally got to play Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
Oh, wow.
That's good shit.
That's a great one.
It's a bitch.
It is a bitch. It's worse than the one on the Wii.
It is. It's pretty mind-blowing because, like, one of the big criticisms that I remember Shigeru Miyamoto specifically had about the original Donkey Kong Country games was they were too easy.
Mhm.
That I remember there being interviews out there where he was criticizing the games, even though they were like million sellers on the system. They moved all kinds.
When
of
is that? When has good business ever, stopped Shigeru Miyamoto from doing anything?
Exactly. But
what are you giving us money? Well, fuck you.
I do seem to remind him being kind of like vaguely pissed that Donkey Kong Country was too fucking easy. Which, I mean, you go back and play it, especially if you're like me and you've played it, 9 billion different ways from Sunday.
To be fair, I think it sold better than Star Fox, so that might have been just bitter grapes.
Maybe.
I mean, I was just glad to see them go back to that formula because the actual Donkey Kong character, I mean, they put him into music rhythm games.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then they had Donkey Kong 64, which when you have that as the follow-up to the country games, I mean, it just feels like, hey, is this Banjo and Kazooie with all the leftovers?
it really was another Banjo-Kazooie, which isn't a problem. I love that game. It's like it is like Banjo-Kazooie, but Banjo-Kazooie is great. So whatever.
Banjo-Kazooie is better lit.
They used actual like assets from the Banjo and Kazooie games in that, and then I started feeling like, I'm like, so let me get this straight. You didn't feel like to spend all your effort into making a brand new game, and we're talking like pretty late into the Nintendo 64 life cycle.
Yeah.
So
Same
I think
thing with Perfect Dark.
there's only like handfuls of fucks to give, and they're like, well, pick from those.
Yeah, Rare was
did.
kind of, I think that was around the same time Rare put out Perfect Dark. And they were
Yeah.
probably, if I had to guess which of the two games mattered more to them. Yeah, I'm guessing probably Perfect Dark.
Well, Perfect Dark, that was what they wanted GoldenEye to ultimately be, but obviously, there was no way that they could possibly go that far with it. And an impressive fucking game. But I thought, like, the entire time playing Donkey Kong 64, it wasn't horrible, but I just kept on thinking, man, this character deserves way better.
My favorite thing about Donkey Kong 64 is when you get into the factory level and you get to the very top and there's a fucking Donkey Kong arcade cabinet in there. And you can play original OG Donkey Kong in Donkey Kong. That was the first time I'd ever seen that in a video game, where there's a video game within a video game. That was like 99 or so. I would be shocked if that was. I don't know. I imagine there may have been other instances of that, but
I was fucking tickled at the idea that I could look down some crosshairs and shoot people in Donkey Kong. It's like, you know,
albeit with pineapples, but still.
I was like, look, I'm shooting a coconut out, I'm fucking somebody up, and I'm not actually playing the first jumping Flash game. This is kind of badass. Honestly, kind of excited here. By the way, everybody who's listening, please go play the jumping Flash games for the love of fucking God, or whatever the fuck, Odin. Just please play them.
Someone's got to.
Yeah, they're too good. I feel like they do not get enough credit considering what they have managed to do with no fucking marketing. They were first-party Sony, and Sony treats a lot of their first-party games like they don't exist. And it was a fucking 3D platforming game before 3D was established by Super Mario 64, and it's a first-person platforming game. That's phenomenal. Like that, and it actually still controls well. Looks like shit, but what game from back then?
Person? Yeah, first-person platforming is so hard to get right anyways. Good God. Like, I love... Okay, you all know I love Thief. But holy fuck, those platforming segments at the beginning of Thief the Dark Project with the fucking your man trying to mantle up cliff faces and oh my God.
Well, what Jumping Flash got right though was the ability to look directly beneath you, to look all the way down. Most first-person platformers don't allow you that. You're just supposed to guess because your head is in a fixed position.
They tried emulating something similar to that with fucking Bubsy 3D. Try doing something like that. If you remember, every time that you jumped with that poor sickly bastard, he would jump, and then the camera was just like, "Here we go." Like, well, dude, that doesn't fucking work. And then he's just like, random one-liner, and it's not quotable like Duke Nukem. You're dead. Like, this is my weekend. I rented this. I can't take it back. Mom,
where's my copy of Conker's Bad Fur Day? Wash the fucking shitty taste out of my mouth.
Oh God! At the time, Conker's Bad Fur Day wasn't even fucking out.
Yeah.
This shit was still only a couple months removed from when it was released. So, I mean, Super Mario 64 had just come out, and it was like Super Mario 64 and Bubsy 3D, and some people tried to defend it. Well, it was still new. I'm like, Jumping Flash did it just fine. What the fuck's their excuse? This game was shit. It was a game that was in the pre-beta stage of a beta. So imagine the pre-beta beta. That's a demo. There you go. You just got yourself a Bubsy game.
So Assassin's Creed Unity then.
No, this was somehow less buggy. So
somehow, or the new HD re-release of Assassin's Creed 2.
Oh my God, that shit!
All I had to say as soon as I saw that, it's good to see my creator wrestlers from WWF Warzone still getting work. What the
I want to understand something like, wait a minute. So, do all remasters just automatically take away eyelids? Because that's what happened. And, like, was it Zsa Zsa Gabor? Like, it looks like that kind of plastic surgery just done up real fucking bad. I'm like, you are horrible looking. Dear God. Like, his lips were, like, spread out like this. And I'm like, I played so many survival horror games, and he was fucking scarier than every goddamn... Silent Hill Shattered Memories. He was scarier than every fucking thing that showed up in that goddamn stupid fucking goddamn... We're a remake. Yeah, fuck you. God.
Oh, but don't you know, it's a reimagining.
Oh, yeah. Reimagining. You want to know what reimagining is code for? Well, we don't actually have a lot of stock in our work, so we're just going to use this term and hope you don't hate it as much. It's an excuse. See that? Yeah. Marketing 101. I fucking hate it, but it was, yeah. Everything that's Ubisoft related, the only thing I care about when they put out is like, I mean, I like the Far Cry games. I do. Ever since Far Cry 3. Far Cry 1 is horrible. God, is that a stupid game. And the Rayman games, I like those. They're good.
I like
and if
Blood
I can get
Dragon.
another Blood Dragon out of them,
Yeah.
I'm good. Just give me more Blood Dragon, but they won't. So, you know.
And many, many, many moons ago, Splinter Cell was great, but
Oh, you know what's fucked up? Is that doesn't even show up in the radar of my mind because it seems like a literal lifetime ago that Splinter Cell not only was relevant, but was actually good, and it was. It was great.
Are you ready for this? The last good Splinter Cell game that came out is 10 years old now. I don't even. It has literally been since 2006 that series was working.
What was oh god, I always fucking forget. What was the last one that they made? Conviction or Double Agent or
Blacklist?
See, it doesn't matter. It's like Splinter Cell random dumb blah blah blah. So all they need to do is like Revengeance or some shit afterwards. I'm like, there we go. We're hitting tick off every little checkbox there. But man, when that shit came out, I'm like, so are you gonna be a stealth game? They're like, nah. I'm like, oh, my mistake. I thought I was buying a Splinter Cell. No, I wasn't. It's fucking. Dishonored. Is Dishonored 2 out yet?
It is, but it's not playable yet.
I don't. Okay. What does that mean exactly? that is horrifying to say in 2016.
It means the game has the frame rate of an underwater fucking aerobics class. Like,
I like that. I like that. That's that's
like,
good. So it's
basically Neo dodging bullets in a fucking marine tank is essentially the frame rate of Dishonored 2, and it's not much better on console. But I'm mostly talking about PC here, so that's why I haven't bought it. Because if I were gonna get it, I'd get it on PC, and that ain't fucking happening.
See, I love the first one.
I know what you're thinking. Awesome. I know what you're thinking. A Bethesda game that's broken as fuck on release? Will wonders never goddamn cease? Are you sure?
Like, whoa. Hold on. That's not possible. I'm from Earth 2. What do you mean, Earth 1 resident? That the frame rate, that's not possible. No, that's kind of depressing because I've been looking forward to that game, and I'm still kind of pissed off that Target canceled the fucked up glitch in the system whenever they had one day where they allowed the pre-orders go for like $15 and it paid off the entire game. And I was just like, boom, give me that shit. They're like, yeah, we're going to go and cancel those and give your money back. I'm like, or you could give me the game for $15 because that would have been pretty awesome if they didn't. They're cunts. Fucking cunts. Yo, Chaos, I'm sorry we're talking about this shit and you hate us.
It's okay.
You didn't deny the hatred part, so
I'm sorry. I like to hate you. Because you don't invite me to shit. You didn't bring me on finalbosses.com. I got a lot of email about it. You didn't think I was going to bring that shit up because I've been all nice to you all day.
I mean, if you want to go on there,
No, I don't want to fucking be on there. No one goes on there.
I was going to say, I can't get people to go on there. What the fuck are you kidding?
I know. I feel bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to tear open the wound, you know.
I was like, hey, so we're putting stuff on there. They're like, oh, yeah? Is that a different URL? I'm like, yes, it is. And they're like, I can't do that. That's a no.
I mean, like, is it going to come to my subscription box? No, I like it here.
That is not okay. We can't do that. I was just like, well, fuck. And then I noticed like every other site that's tried doing stuff like that, they're just sitting like it's like an ocean with all the same boats.
Can I ask a question? Yeah. Did you learn a classic game room lesson?
Kinda. Because the truth of the matter is, whenever you like way back, the internet was just lots of websites, lots of fan sites, namely. And there wasn't pre-established websites. There wasn't a YouTube. There was people who unfortunately installed Real Player and downloaded through 56K. And that shit was like, it had the same resolution as Game Boy Camera. So it was good stuff. But you still got off
the same audio output as the Commodore. It was great.
But it was like putting the content on there. like it would get some kind of traction, but the problem is like a lot of people just all said the same thing. I want to go there, but I just don't like going to a different site. And I go to a lot of websites. I'm just kind of used to doing that.
You must be old or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it literally is that, because I was like, I still remember making Final Fantasy fan sites at the local library through GeoCities.
On
Like,
Angel Fire.
But tripod.
dude, Angel Fire was actually the very first one we used. GeoCities, you didn't have to know all the code because they had drag and drop shit. It was very ahead of the curve. I was like, wow, look at that. That's amazing. I don't have to learn Dreamweaver and shit.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this? My first radio show was on Lycos.
I'm sorry.
Lycos Internet Radio, motherfucker.
Dude, I'd love to tell people like way back in the day, because I mean you'd see the game room like, oh yeah, he's just a console gamer. Like, no, I actually PC gamed a lot, but at everybody else's house because we couldn't afford a computer. Well, what I would
People
do,
forget that shit. Computers used to cost money.
yeah, computers, like if you wanted
Today you can pick a perfectly decent PC out of your teeth at a moment's notice. Just fall right out.
Dude, like nowadays we see shit like, you know, E-Machines and Acer and whatever fucking other brand out there that you don't want to go near, Dell. And like you see these and you're like, well, they're pretty cheap and affordable and accessible and shit. Yeah, well, there was no budget brand PCs when PCs were new. They were all expensive.
Budget brand PCs were called old PCs. I know, because I had a Tandy 1000EX in 1990.
No, okay. Be honest with them. A budget brand PC when you had no money was if you stole the graphing calculator from school.
It's true.
Or for us real poor kids,
or when you
there were no graphing calculators. You took the other one and just spelled boobies on it, and that seemed to keep you.
You kidding? I just swiped a chick's Tamagotchi from class. Are you?
Look, I will still swipe a bitch's Tamagotchi. Like, I will still do that. Like, bitch, you left it out. Finder's keeper.
You know how much I can get for that on eBay? goddammit?
No, that's one of the fucking Pikachu ones. I'll throw that bitch in traffic to get it. Like, give me that shit. That's mine. This is the hood, bitch. Give me that Pokemon Gold and
That's a
Silver.
proactive approach. I remember years ago, you would punch people and hit them with a golf club. Now you're just gonna throw them into traffic. Like, fuck, I ain't got time for that.
Look,
I am sore.
Look, one, you got to take the golf club with you. Do you know, I already look shady. So now you want me to have like a long weapon that looks like I'm about to go all fucking Columbine somewhere? No, can't have that. I need to make sure that I'm like, there goes fast cars, bam, and gone. And I'm an equal opportunist. So, you know, man, woman, child, old, young, doesn't matter. You're dead.
Sedan, coupe, minivan, you don't care. You'll push anybody right out there.
No,
right?
well, no. If it's a smart car, I like to think that she'll knock it out of traffic because those things are fucking pathetic. And
it'll blow up right there.
Oh, well, yeah. You know the little Tykes cars they have?
It will blow up like a Pinto crossed with a Hyundai.
I was gonna say a Geo Tracker, but fine.
You could do that too.
Loses 90% of its battery power when you use the cigarette lighter.
Did you just try charging your phone on there? I'm sorry, your car's inoperable. The end.
You have drained all the memory out of your car.
Yeah.
One of the things I was gonna mention. Back in the day, PC gaming, one of the places to go. Do you guys remember on the AOL website they had AOL games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They used to share.
Dude, BattleTech, multiplayer BattleTech. I used to play the shit out of that on AOL game.
I can already hear the seams of Razörfist jeans ripping just from mentioning that. I just want to point that shit out. By the way, I get harassed frequently from one of the local game stores. You need to come and play this. I'm like, I know what you're going to do. This is all it is like a heroin dealer who's like, just try it. It's not that bad. You won't get addicted. I can't afford this shit. It'll ruin my fucking life. Like, I'm not dumb. And eventually I'm like, Alpha, I keep seeing less and less stuff in your game room. I'm like, yeah, man. I don't got time. gotta go. And then all of a sudden, I'm moving things around, checking stats. I'm like, yeah, I just blew your fucking arm off. Fuck you.
Yeah,
this laser cannon was
folks,
amazing.
For those who out there who aren't aware, BattleTech is a tabletop game. You see, tabletop games were the things that you played back when we all thought Pokemon sounded like a gay Jamaican porn, you know? Like back when no one had any conception of a YouTube or a whatever.
Back when we had friends.
Back to the ethereal mists of antiquity.
I was gonna say, man. I mean, I was from back in that day, and right now I got like 2 friends. So I realized that I had a lot of associates and shit and stuff like that. But yeah, I just got the 2, but they're totally worth it. But I want to play that game. It just demands so fucking much. And oh my god, like all the Warhammer shit. I see it. And the one place, like, dude, it's weird. You go down this spiral staircase. Like, it's actually unreal. And it's all underground in this huge basement. And you know how they make fun of some gamers like fucking basement dwellers? This is like their command center.
Yep.
Huge. And just like, it's sprawling and massive. And they got all these areas set up for it. And then I just walk over to the Magic the Gathering area. I get cards. I look over. I start skipping past cards every so often. I'm like, maybe I could just for the... No, I won't. I might. I may. I could, but I won't.
It's worth... Yeah, sure, we're slowly dying of lung rot, 20 feet under the earth, but hey, we've got StarCraft 2.
Dude, I mean, 20 feet back up, you're dying of other stuff. It's not a big deal. Death is overrated. Who cares? So, Chaos, you were talking about Yoshi's Woolly World and Codename Steam?
Codename Steam.
So, thoughts, feelings, enjoying it?
Well, like I said, I'm a man of few words. Yoshi's right? Yoshi's Woolly World is fucking adorable. And Codename Steam, I just started last night, so I really don't know a whole lot about it. I got to play these. My wife is busting my chops. She bought these games for Christmas last year, and she said, "Are you going to play these fucking games?" Or I said, "All right, yes, dear." And so I don't know a whole lot about it, but Yoshi's Woolly World is more challenging than I thought. I decided to take it lightly at first and thought it'd be just like another Kirby's Epic Yarn, which it is, but it's a great time. I really enjoy it. It's a little more Mario-ish than Yoshi games usually are, but the puzzles are, how can I say this? They're obtuse at first, and then they kind of unveil themselves to you.
Dude, I thought the puzzles in it reminded me of all the after Thousand Year Door Paper Mario games.
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Like, that's what I feel that they're reminiscent of. And you have to get really good with, like, the jumping in it. I kept on wanting to platform in the game like I was playing a new Super Mario Brothers style game. And you can't. It feels like you could, but you can't. And it took me a while, but I started off on, like, World 3. And it was, like, near the end of it. And I'm going through all these different, one of the big castles. And the amount of, what was it? Was it keys that I had to get to go and unlock some big ass room for the boss fight? I fucking forget, but it was a ton of shit. It was really tough, but I ended up liking it. Everybody fell asleep because they were all passed out drunk, and I'm sitting there with the Wii U. I'm like, yeah, because I'm the life of the party.
Hell yeah.
That's always me. Either that or I do the opposite. If I have, a big all-nighter or whatever, a bunch of friends are chilling or whatever, I'm usually that asshole who falls asleep right before everyone else so that I can steal the bed, so my friend doesn't get to sleep in his own goddamn bed. Because I am not sleeping on that dog hair caked futon. Goddamn it, that is not happening.
Are you also the guy that gets dicks drawn on their face?
No.
Good for you.
No, because I'm a stomach sleeper. You see,
Ah!
you befuddle these things.
Ah, so there's words on your ass then.
I was going to say, you have to be careful because somebody did that at a party, and he ruined the party for a lot of people. And he was the same one who got a funnel put in his ass while he was drunk, and was it salad dressing got poured in it. An entire bottle of salad dressing in this dude's ass.
What I want to know is who was in charge of like fanning out the asshole to get a fucking ordinary funnel to fit. It sounds when you describe it like it's a cartoon, like it's shoomp, like it just goes in there. It's not like that.
Yeah, hey, head on over here, Sphincterella. I know we had a fucking fun night planned for you.
Here,
But right now we need you to jam this.
When you have a party filled, and keep in mind, it's like the winding down portion of the party, and everybody's either completely blitzed, or you got the last few that held their liquor or didn't drink enough so that they could be conscious to do shit like this. Then you find the one person who's just like, you're depraved. Spread his butt cheeks so that this funnel can get in there. Yeah, it works. It works. It's terrible, but yeah. He ended up shitting it all out hours later and then choked somebody else for it. And it was hilarious. I remember laughing a whole lot. And then, he actually picked the dude up off the ground. I was like... by the way, I was the dude who did everything.
I'm just wondering why the fuck you guys had salad dressing just on hand. What kind of party has salad dressing?
No, we went into the fridge.
When there's no more beer in the refrigerator, you do with what you have.
Dude, originally it was going to be hot sauce because I was like, that'll fucking burn real bad.
That's cold-blooded.
Oh,
I didn't care. I was fucked up. Like I'm not now. And it was just like, well, there isn't any. Well, salad dressing, that'll do. So, yeah, Newman's Own. Yep.
I'll tell that brings a whole new meaning to Hidden Valley. But anyways, so let's continue on.
Ah, zing. Yeah. That's good shit right there. I like that. Damn it, Kaos. You have to transition.
What were you playing, you prick?
Oh, yeah. I forgot. Fuck. Let's see. So I went and I drank from the Weeaboo Chalice and have been playing World of Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah, I saw that actually.
It's fucking Pokemon. I don't know. That's the easiest way for me to say it. If somebody's like, I hate Pokemon, I'm like, you'll fucking hate this then. I think it's
so one of those angry fucking PMRC bitches now who have it out for Pokemon because it's satanic.
I mean, it's. I personally prefer whenever they're going off about the game. Whenever it's the actual like priest, it's just like it's the devil. It's the devil, I tell you. And I'm like, yeah, this guy knows what the fuck's up. But it is. It's there's another game. It was on Game Boy called Dragon Quest Monsters 1 and 2. Same exact premise as that. Just take that shit and you put it into the Final Fantasy world, and that's really it. You see cameos from all the games. And I was playing before that. I was playing Dead Rising a little bit because
I've been playing the shit out of that lately.
Dude, they re-released it, and I was just like, finally, like only one of the best fucking games from last generation, finally getting like a proper re-release.
Fuck yeah! What do you think of the new Dead Rising? Have you seen any of the new Dead Rising footage?
I've actually watched originally all I had seen was a trailer, and to be honest, the trailer hyped me up because I was excited that it was Frank West again. Yeah. So I'm just hoping, I'm like, please just go back to the original style shit, because 2 and 3, but that hyped me up. Then I got to watch a Let's Play of somebody running around with the mech suit that you can get.
Oh, I didn't see that.
There's like some kind of mech suit that you can get because there's like a military compound that's in some portion of the game. Some prototype suit you get in it, and you just go around and you're just fucking everything up. Like imagine like a crowd of zombies, you go over and you just iron fist the shit out of them. You're just like, it's like bowling.
It's bad. It looks badass. That I watched the like 20 minutes of gameplay on IGN or whatever the fuck it was, and the gameplay looks badass. It looks like kind of a return. It's still goofy as shit, and it's whatever. It's Dead Rising. But what I miss is like the satire kind of element. Like where's the restaurant that's named Jill Sandwiches? You know,
I'm hoping that kind of shit's like hidden throughout it, because anytime that we saw like the stuff from the original Dead Rising, I think the only thing that they ever showcased was one of the serve bots heads that you could wear as a mask. I think that was about it, because most people didn't know about you can dress up like Mega Man and you can run around and go and fucking shoot shit. And then the Jill sandwiches thing, like you had mentioned, and they've got all this stuff. And I like that because, you know, it's a modern day setting and you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like it's Capcom. So give me something that's Street Fighter based, something that's Ghosts and Goblins based. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, is there going to be definitely...
Oh my God. If you had the suit of armor and then if the zombies hit you, your fucking clothes fall off, that'd be brilliant. That'd be goddamn brilliant.
Dude, you get knocked back, but your entire outfit just changes to just the heart boxers.
Yes.
But I'd like to think, like, there's a lot of people, I remember I had seen this debate, they're like, oh man, Arthur's just the weakest piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, the fuck he is. Arthur isn't a weak piece of shit. One, Satan steals his fucking woman while he's banging in a fucking graveyard. That's metal as fuck. Number two, all it says is everything in this world is that fucking strong. Satan just summoned all the shit. Do you think he's just gonna throw bitches at you? No, he's fucking Satan. Yeah. So he went after the toughest motherfucker with, like, the bitch with the best pussy ever. Because, I mean, is Satan really going to take, like, anything less? He had Lilith. I mean, get the fuck out of here. So he's off taking out woman. And then he's just like, oh, wait, you have to play the game again to really get me.
Not only that, but Arthur's a badass because he's throwing those lances and they're the size of a fucking car bumper.
Yeah. Oh, and he's throwing them like this.
Yeah,
like that's it.
Oh, yeah. Effortless. I'm just throwing car bumpers. Don't fucking worry about it. Like, fucking...
yeah, and there's people like, yeah, well, I mean, he can't shoot upwards. I mean, depending on which version of the game that you're talking about, but he can't shoot upwards. I mean, that makes him kind of suck. I'm like, no, it's because he's so badass. He wants to do everything the hard way, like a man. You see that fucking beard that he has, like a fucking man.
Don't forget, he's the guy that goes to picnics in his underwear.
Oh yeah, I mean, who's gonna tell him no? They're like, sir, you can't do that, and he's like, Lance.
Well, come on, he knows what's gonna happen once he gets to his bitch. Come on, he knows. He only needs the armor and some undies. That's all he needs. That's all he needs.
And then he just goes, I don't acknowledge Maximo, and then he just bangs the woman over and over again. I personally like Maximo, but man, why do so many people hate that game?
I don't know.
Hate it so much. Part 2 was
the voices are fucking annoying.
Well, I mean, I can say that about a lot of fucking translations. I'm just like, who did you hire? Like, the janitorial staff was like, hey, we're not on lunch break. And they were like, come on in. And that was
fucking Mega Man X4. There's no need to go on. What am I fighting for?
Now I just feel like it's Dragon Ball Z.
Speaking of Ghosts and Goblins, you were running your mouth before the program started about your brand new NES classic that you and only you got. You want to show it off, AlphaOmegaSin?
Hey, look, it's not just me. Nintendo shipped out a whopping 14 worldwide, so me and 13 other motherfuckers got the NES Mini. Thank you, Nintendo, for being so kind as to supply the whole world with a lot. Yeah. So I bought it from Best Buy when they had this shit online, and I was like, hey, cool, I'll be able to go and get that, because it had a whopping like 2-minute window of availability, because again, they stocked 14 in the whole world. Glorious. And
because they knew the people that would buy all of them are the people who are not busy between 2 and 2:30 in the afternoon.
They had a Best Buy was like, all right, your order's on its way. Got an email the next day. They were like, just kidding. It'll be there at some point. Have fun. And that was it. They were telling me it was going to be the second week of December, and then it just showed up today. I'm like, oh, okie dokie. So, yeah, it showed up, and I was complaining to Yell Chaos earlier about the games I would take off there and the games I would replace. And then that was pretty much it. Oh, and the games I was shocked that they even bothered to include, like Bubble Bobble.
And Star Tropics.
Yeah, Star Tropics. I mean, I like Star Tropics. It's a great game. It's a great
game, but nobody knows what the fuck it is.
No. That's like you were mentioning Zoda's Revenge, Star Tropics 2. Mm-hmm. Like even fans of Star Tropics.
So just to a fucking layman, because I have heard about this controversy just because of the lack of supply. I don't know what the fuck this console is. Does it just have the games built into it? Does it just what the fuck?
Yeah, it's just like all the plug and plays for Atari and Sega Genesis, but the difference is
it's basically a high-end plug and play right there. Basically got your fucking list of games.
Fuck yeah.
30 games. The cool part about it is they managed to get third-party games, so this isn't just Nintendo branded games.
Yes.
So, for example, the third-party games I was excited for, you got Mega Man 2, which is a staple NES game. You got Ninja Gaiden, again, staple game. Castlevania, another staple game. Double Dragon 2, which doesn't get enough recognition, but that game is the fucking shit. Let's see. It's got Ghost and Goblins. It's got Pac-Man, which I was surprised. I was like, I could do without Pac-Man. Replace it with something better.
Yeah.
Because when I think of Pac-Man, I do not think of the Nintendo Entertainment System, and I never will.
Yeah, well, not only that, I mean, I think more people played Pac-Man on fucking Atari than...
and they were tremendously disappointed.
Oh, it's terrible.
And they were severely traumatized. And
no. But think about me. That was the first one that I played. So my brain thinks that's okay. And that's why I'm this fucked up mess that you see before you.
It's like you're fucking traumatized. Seriously, whenever people bought a copy of Pac-Man for Atari, they shouldn't have even included the goddamn cartridge. They should have just included a paper that said, hey, have you ever been to a laundromat? Yeah, fucking go there. Is that... Fucking Pac-Man is in every laundromat in America. Still,
I feel like they should have just sent out apology letters as the manual for the game. Like you open up, sorry. Like, why does it say that? You plug it in, like everything makes sense now.
Yeah.
Oh, so this was something that I was debating about. I was trying to figure out. Super C is on here, but not Contra. Thought that was kind of odd. We all know Contra. Not to say nobody knows Super C, but when you think of Contra, you think of Contra. Like, that's what you think of. You think of the first one.
My thinking is, I'll bet you that game sells very well on the Virtual Console service, and they don't want to give any reason to threaten that. Just thinking.
I mean, but they've got all this other stuff on there. I can't imagine that they'd be like, oh yeah, well, we don't want to go and like
the Turtles games.
See, that was one of the things I was figuring wouldn't happen is like the good licensed games were going to get left out, and they did. So we aren't seeing anything like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game. We're not seeing Batman, and we're not seeing DuckTales or Chip and Dale.
Turtles 2. Let's see Turtles 3, the Manhattan Project. God damn it!
Well, that would be one.
That would be harder than a Mastodon Tusk. All right,
Manhattan Project is a better game. But I had the TMNT2, the arcade game, and I played through that so many fucking times. It's a part of me. Like, somewhere in here, they could probably open up and be like, oh, there's the game.
Yes.
And it's just there. But I played them both to death. I just didn't play the first one to death because I couldn't get far in it. It's just too fucking hard. And still nowadays, I have way less patience. I'm like, well, I'm dead. Anyway.
That game is over. They should just show the end screen as soon as you get past the dam. Because as far as I'm concerned, that's the hardest part in the fucking game. It's ridiculous. It's punishing. It's evil. Like, and I got past that and I was like, okay, game over. I don't even give a fuck. There was a whole other world. I didn't even give a shit.
There was one thing that they included on the Famicom Mini that was like, fuck yeah, but they left that on this. I'm like, fuck no. So I would easily trade out quite a few games on here to go and get that. They included River City Ransom on the Famicom Mini.
Huh.
Not on here. And that made me sad. So fucking sad. Because I love that game. So good.
Yeah. What about like Paper? There's no Paperboy? There's no fucking...
Nope.
Really? There's some weird exemptions.
Yeah, here, I'll... Real quick list. Balloon Fight. Bubble Bobble. Castlevania 2, which I found shocking that they had 2 of the Castlevanias, and they actually included 2 instead of 3. Donkey Kong Jr., Double Dragon 2, Dr. Mario, Excite Bike, Final Fantasy, which I was like, hey, that's pretty cool, but no Dragon Warrior. So kind of weird because Dragon Warrior was much more famous on the NES than Final Fantasy was.
Yeah.
Just kind of weird. Galaga, Ghosts and Goblins, Gradius or Gradius, whatever people want to go with, Ice Climber, Kid Icarus, Kirby's Adventure, Mario Brothers, Mega Man 2, Metroid, Ninja Gaiden, Pac-Man, Punch-Out, featuring Mr. Dream, Star Tropics, Super C, Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3, Tecmo Bowl, the only sports game on there, and The Legend of Zelda 1 and 2. As your 30 games until everybody figures out how to mod this completely, and then I'll have everything.
That's pretty fucking boss.
I mean, it's not bad for, if you figure what it costs to get the games on the virtual console and to get this little plug-and-play system, 60 bones to pick it up unless you're one of the complete idiots online who's actually too impatient and you're paying $200 for one. You're a fucking idiot. And now you're a poor idiot. So,
yep.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten to crack it open yet because I was wanting to make a video, but I don't think anybody will see my video because there's already 8 billion.
Yeah.
So it'll get about like 10,000 views and no one will give a shit.
Maybe you can fuck a chick while you do it. That might get some views.
I mean, if anything, that would be a better way to go about it.
Actually, I like that concept. You don't even have to shoot anything graphic. It can just be your face, tight on your face, and you're just opening the fucking box the whole time.
but you gotta do this. So at the bottom of the screen, you just see this. Like that's all that's going on, and then you just keep a straight face the whole time. But like, so talking about the NES, and all you hear every so often is and that's really it. And it all just sounds like it's you're stirring macaroni. Great times for everybody.
Oh, macaroni salad.
But it's, I don't know. I like it. Oh, and you guys heard about the Sega Genesis one that's coming out from Brazil?
No.
I heard something about it, but I didn't get any details.
They have there's already Genesis plug-and-play systems, a couple. There's even a handheld version. None of them are that great, but I mean, it's a plug-and-play system, so, you know, you just kind of come to expect lower quality. Well, the Brazilian one is already going to come with a bunch of games loaded onto it, but it also will take Sega Genesis games.
Fuck yeah.
And that I thought was kind of cool. So you can plug games into it. So it's an actual console with a bunch of games preloaded onto it. So it makes me think of the Master System 2 whenever they put Alex Kidd on there.
And that's probably how it should be. I mean, it's not like these cartridges aren't still floating around.
Yeah, that's something I was telling you Kaos about. I was just like, dude, so what if they had made this and it actually had the cartridge slot in it? A lot of people would have lost their mind, and Nintendo could have even just went the extra mile, made a legitimate NES backwards compatible, now NES Mini compatible cartridge with a bunch of the games on it, exclusive only to that. Holy shit, people just be like, just money, just shitting everywhere. I mean, they're already doing
but the problem is when you have a cartridge port, those are exposed wires. You've now created a piracy machine.
I mean, it's already a piracy machine. The Famicom Mini.
I understand that, but you know, they have to put on some sort of bullshit mask that they're not trying to support such things.
I mean, people have been, if it's made by man, it's unmade by man, remade in whatever image that they want, and then it's profited off of thereafter, and then it's destroyed because something better comes along. But it's, to me, I wouldn't even worry about it because a system like this, their market is diehard Nintendo enthusiasts and collectors who were going to buy it regardless. If you go that extra mile, or even just to make a limited edition variant, and then have this as like the main one, people would still go fucking bananas for it, and it'd be a good way to test the waters for future concepts and ideas. You never know.
Yeah. Before we go, we have to talk about Goldberg Lesnar at Survivor Series. We have to laugh out loud for the next 20 fucking minutes at Brock Lesnar's expense.
Okay, so Bork Laser went into the ring and got murdered. And hold on, I want to say, like, one, those spears were fucking amazing instead of the leaping hugs that stupid fucking drenched shithead Roman Reigns keeps doing. Those were actual spears. Oh, he's a 50-year-old man. He would break you in half with his dick. And he'd hang you by your ankles with his pubic hair. Ain't shit you could do about it. But he went in, and there's people complaining about this. I'm like, do you know anything about Goldberg's run in WCW? At all? Because last time I checked, the only reason he got famous is, I'm Goldberg. I'm a big bad motherfucker. I broke that guy. I'm leaving. That's it. Yeah. All marketing. And they did it, and it fucking worked. There's people crying. Oh, it made him look weak. Brock Lesnar's been fucking raping everybody, and you're saying this one thing made him look weak? A microphone is what makes him look weak, you fucking idiot.
A fucking basic arithmetic test. You want to make fucking Brock Lesnar look weak.
Oh, and to any of the fucking marks out there for Brock Lesnar, you'd never say that to his face. Yeah, I would, because if I manage to live through the fucking beating, I'm going to own everything that he fucking has. And I'm going to go... I'm literally going to fuck Sable in front of his fucking face.
Why would you do that?
I'll be able to do about it. I'll do it with my money cock, because I just bought a new one. Prosthetic dick.
You would be better off fucking a used rental car.
Look, the middle schooler in me still wants to bang the shit out of Sable. So I don't care.
So
I jerked off to that Playboy more times than I can fucking count.
You could fuck the one original part on her body. Go ahead and do that.
No. You would need like a crime scene investigation unit and a microscope to find it.
You really would. I'm pretty sure she just had a flesh.
Get fucking Sherlock Holmes and Watson in on this. We got to find something.
Okay, so what were you guys' thoughts on the build up and then the climax? I'm going to use air quotes here.
I didn't see the build-up because, like most people, I haven't been fucking watching WWE.
Because who gives a shit, right?
I don't forget about the build-up. From what I understand, it was somewhat disappointing. He just Goldberg kind of came out of nowhere, and he looked kind of old. You know, he didn't look so great.
Well, so did the Taker a few years ago.
Well, this is what I heard. You have to understand. I didn't watch it. This is what I heard.
If you see any shot of him, like the only thing about him that I think isn't as like, oh man, that's fucking Goldberg is. He's got less mass to him, but not so much so that he looks weak. He just looks like he's a bit more trim.
Well, I've heard. I saw the footage of him spearing the shit out of him and winning. He doesn't look much smaller at all.
No, I mean, you figure like height-wise, they're like the same height. And Brock Lesnar is a big, gigantic-ass motherfucker who is built like several trucks decided to get glued together. And then they put Paul Heyman on top and wore him like a hat. And he's like, I'm the Grand Wizard. Also one of the best fucking managers ever in wrestling. But seeing like the whole build-up, the best part about it, honestly, was when Goldberg came out and he cut a promo. It was actually good. And that astounded me. It was very good, as a matter of fact.
Well, that's the thing about Goldberg. He was not a guy who was silent because he couldn't talk. He's actually an educated dude. I think he has a degree in finance or some shit. Like, he's actually a really intelligent dude. You know, his last name's Goldberg. I assume he does someone's taxes on the side. But anyway, so but no, he was actually a relatively articulate individual. So
yeah, but he had the same problem that Lex Luger has. When he talks as himself, he comes off as a total fucking cunt.
Well, back in the day, if you're watching older interviews, back in the day, he kind of bought into his own hype a little bit.
Well, no, even so, when he speaks as himself, you know, he's obviously, it's very difficult to sympathize with somebody who looks really good, you know, who's got a physique like that and knows what they're talking about any given subject. To the average American, you know, those people that watch the Jerry Springer show and eat it, you know, send their children to eat at McDonald's and wonder why they're fucking retarded. Those people don't care for good-looking people who can speak well.
Yeah.
And that's not good for a wrestling audience, if you see what I'm angling toward.
Yeah. But so that part hearing that doesn't surprise me at all, because I always saw Goldberg as being at least a halfway decent promo. What I am pleasantly surprised by is it seems like Goldberg is protecting his legacy of a fuck of a lot more carefully than Sting ever fucking was.
Oh yeah, well, hold on. What fucking legacy are you referring to? The guy that drew no goddamn dollars because he was working with Ric Flair? Ric Flair drew Sting's money. I don't know where you think that Sting has this gigantic legacy.
Okay, come on. The build up to Starrcade 97, Sting sold that pay-per-view.
No, anybody could have fucking been in that because they wanted Hulk Hogan and the NWO to get their asses kicked. That could have been fucking Larry Zbyszko, and it would have drawn the same dollars.
I'll point to the fact that they did the exact same thing with Lex Luger like 2 months before that, and it is half as much money as fucking Starrcade 97.
Yeah, if you think about it, they had a lot of people that they were trying to have as like the WCW, like he's going to be the leader and we're going to champion him, except for they just kept putting NWO shirts on every single fucking person. And let's see, Booker T and DDP were the only ones I can think of that didn't.
Yeah.
And even then, I never bought into DDP as being like the main event star. As awesome
he
as
was 100 years old when he was WCW champion.
No. His fucking entire chest area had the consistency of a fucking baseball glove.
Oh my gosh, man. He looked like my grandmother's elbow.
He does indeed.
Good grief. But
I look at it like this. No matter how he looked, he was banging Kimberly, and I would have traded.
And that ain't not a bad thing, let me tell you.
Look,
and she was a lot younger than I thought she was back then.
Yeah,
that's a woman. That's a woman who looked way older than she was back in the day, and looks way younger than she is now.
Like Suzanne Summers, good for her.
Apparently,
I'm into the Thigh Master concept of it all. Oh, and so the match, like after everything had happened, was that they keep on saying that the match was like 2 minutes. I think it totals out to like 1 minute and 40 something seconds.
That's what everybody.
There's a bunch of people who were pissed off. Like on Twitter, I kept going back and forth with this one dude. I think I used LOL like 50 fucking times when responding to him because I couldn't believe that this motherfucker was like genuinely upset. I'm like, dude, that's what the fuck Goldberg's been doing the entire time. Like,
yeah. He did get in the ring with Steven Regal, and it didn't go quite that way.
Yeah, and you guys, Steven Regal is like a wrestler, and Brock Lesnar is German's. I'm sorry, belly to back suplex machine, and that's all. You
gotta like. So what do you think of the angle that maybe they did this to punish Bork Laser for violating the wellness policy?
Well, no, I don't believe that for a fucking second. Here's what I saw. Now, mind you, I saw it in review. I didn't see it live. I was very sick yesterday, but I saw in review. There were 3 fucking moves. Actually, there were 2 moves. Okay. But what I saw Bill Goldberg, 50-year-old Goldberg, who I didn't think shit was going to come out of, explode out of the corner, spear. Brock Lesnar, scared. He sold something. Did you see his face? He looked scared. Like, where the fuck did this come from? And then another spear. And again, he looked scared.
No. You gotta, whenever, like, they got face-to-face, Brock tackled him into the corner.
True. Okay.
And then just, like, gave him the fucking stare down and was like, you're my bitch.
Yeah.
Goldberg shoved him. And
yeah.
I've never seen somebody get shoved like that, but he shoved him like he was trying to move the planet out of the way of a fucking incoming meteor. Because, I mean, Brock Lesnar is like, I don't know how many pounds, like what, 275 or some shit? And he shoved him.
He looks like more.
He shoved him and he left. Like, he just left. He was just like, go away. And he was like, okay. And he was just gone, and that was it. And he, like you said, he sold that shit. He was just like, what?
Yeah. And the thing was, I mean, it's kind of like oh shit, was it Rocky? Yeah, Rocky 4 with Drago, when he's like, he's not a machine, he's a man. Suddenly, Brock Lesnar was interesting.
Yeah,
for the first time ever. Because he was scared, and that this has been talked about a lot through a lot of people talking about wrestling is that they have writers. They can control the drama, and some drama came from somewhere. I have no idea where, and I know a lot of people complained that it was 90 seconds. The show went on for fucking ever. How much more did you want? And did you really think they were going to drag 17 minutes out of 50-year-old Goldberg?
Yeah,
that was not going to happen.
I get the feeling it might be.
We're angling towards WrestleMania. If you didn't know that, we're setting up for WrestleMania 33.
Yeah, clearly. I think we're building up to a WrestleMania match where he'll put over Lesnar clean, which is, boy, hey, somebody else gets to put over Lesnar clean at a Mania.
But they're gonna it's gonna have to be something big. They're gonna have to go in a cage. The only way that Goldberg is gonna be able to go along main event, at WrestleMania, it's gonna have to be in a cage with furniture and shit.
They need to make it into a street fight because both of them, honestly, Lesnar has been really fucking sloppy in the ring the past couple bouts, and I don't blame him because
he has a guaranteed contract and he only shows up what 4 times a year.
Dude, he's the highest paid guy. He's the highest paid guy.
And he don't do shit.
His contract is what, $5 million right now. For and keep in mind, that's absurd whenever you think about somebody like John Cena who's around. And
all the fucking dollars.
That's absurd because how much fucking interest is he actually drawing? They'll advertise fucking Brock Lesnar for 4 weeks straight. Oh, he's going to be on Raw. He's going to be on Raw. He's going to be on Raw. Raw records record low rating after he shows up. It's like, what the
Well, they never got any mileage out of Dan Severn. They never got any fucking mileage out of Ken Shamrock. Is this really surprising?
One of the things that I think a lot of people who are fucking spazzing out and forgetting.
And they waited too long on that Ronda Rousey shit. Now, let me point that out.
You're making him look weak by doing this. You're making him look weak. And okay, so he lost clean to a dude who he had already lost to in the past, who was known for being dominant as fuck and doing exactly what he did. And did any of you even see Brock Lesnar back in the early 2000s during the Ruthless Aggression era? Because that motherfucker lost a lot of matches. He did play like a pussy bitch pretty fucking often during his matches, which was normal. He was a fucking blue chipper. Dude came in, was doing some amazing shit, almost fucking broke his goddamn neck doing a shooting star press that he had done numerous different times, had put on a lot of really good bouts, and now all of a sudden the way that they have him built up as an unstoppable optional boss. So now he loses and people forget about all the shit that went into this. I'm like, where the fuck have all of you been? Most of the people that are complaining are old enough to have seen all this shit. Yeah. Nobody can have this selective of a fucking memory.
Well, you know what I think it is? I think it's the fact that WWE has so little consistency in their storytelling. They don't remember shit that happened 5 episodes ago, let alone fucking 15
Of course they
ago.
don't, because they wrote it and then Vince changed it fucking 5 minutes before air.
So they're just assuming, oh, fuck, whoever Brock Lesnar was last week, that's who he's going to be forever. Shit.
Well, I do think it's kind of fascinating that the entire time that they've ever discussed anything pertaining to him, they talk about his accolades. And they frequently keep on talking about the whole UFC thing because they're just like, hey, can we enjoy some of those coattails? I like those coattails. Pretty nice. Is there a seat for us on them? No? Oh, well, we're going to...
Hey, when are they going to mention the fact that UFC is more fixed than a smackhead on payday? When are they going to fucking more fixed than Bob Barker's Chihuahua, you fucking tools? Let's pretend that's real for a little longer. I mean, okay, it's a work is what I mean. It's not fake in the sense that their blows actually make contact, but come on.
I like to think that it was a bit more fixed than Bret Michaels' hair. But there's the one thing that should...
It's not as fixed as Kevin Dubrov's hair, though.
No.
They don't ever mention anything about
you groan at me, motherfucker.
They don't mention anything about him when he was in WWE at all. They don't talk about his they mention, well, he used to be the champion. Yeah, we fucking know that.
Yeah.
But talk about his feuds back then. He had faced off against Eddie Guerrero and Kurt Angle. He's already faced the fucking Undertaker before. He faced all these people, but you don't acknowledge the shit.
Yeah.
But if you want to really take that into consideration and you want to talk about their consistency, this is the company that for years told us their world championship is the world championship of all world championships. And then to make it better, they gave a universal championship, which a universe is much bigger than a world, to some big fat fuck called Kevin Steen. And they're surprised that things don't grow.
By the way, he puts on awesome matches. And yes, I'm going to be one of those guys because...
I'm all in favor. That's fine. If that's what you like, good for you. The point is, they try and portray him as a shoot fighter, and he is the fakest wrestler on the fucking roster.
Hey, look, another guy who wrestles in baggy fucking jean shorts and a great big fucking oversized shirt. We don't have enough of those in CZW, for fuck's sake, wrestling in front of 20 people in a high school gym. But no, I understand. Kevin Steen, whatever the fuck. His promos, I think, sell him mostly because he's actually an okay promo.
Oh no, he's really good on.
His promos only work if you've seen his work in the indie scene.
Yeah, that's true. That's the problem. Unfortunately, that's who we're marketing to now, and that's the problem.
And that's marketing downwards. You're spending money to attract an audience that doesn't spend dollars on things.
Yeah.
Have you been to an indie wrestling show? Have you seen what they have to go through just to sell fucking hot dogs? Because people spend every last dime they have to afford the $15 to be amongst 30 other people to watch a fucking street fight.
Hey, I'm one of those people.
with fucking fluorescent tubes. Well, I'm sorry. I apologize.
and I can sometimes afford a hot dog. I just choose not to because I don't trust them. Because
I understand that too. But you know, like we were saying though, it's like
hold on. There was a point where you trusted a hot dog. Like who at some point in their life was like, I'm gonna.
Is this why you don't do game reviews? This is exactly why you don't do game reviews. This is the guy that trusts a hot dog.
Exactly. Like, you know what I trust? Those ground up rat's anuses and fucking ground up duck bills. And
hey, protein is protein, man.
I was gonna say, I mean, look, it comes in a package of 10, and then they give me 8 hot dog buns. What's up with
that? Someone watched Animaniacs. I love it.
I mean, I like to think that was part of how I become the charming motherfucker that I am today, making jokes that adults don't get. But it's okay. Now, I will admit that there's a big part of WWE right now that is marketing towards a lot of the indie fans out there. But the truth of the matter is their product is all over the fucking place.
Oh, sure.
When they try doing some of the other shit that they do, they don't let it even, they throw the shit and they don't even give it time to hit the ball, let alone stick.
Yeah.
And then they're off moving. It's fascinating because if you ever go to WWE's YouTube channel and you see they've got the WWE.com and YouTube exclusive video clips, a lot of the guys that they have on their roster are just allowed to say and do whatever the fuck they want. And it is a million times more entertaining. And I'm like, you've got all this entertaining shit. Just put it out there where you're supposed to be making money. And they're not. And I don't get that. I'm like, this shit drives me up a wall. But I thought that I was hoping that Team SmackDown won, and they did. I'm sad that Shane McMahon got a concussion, but I'm not surprised. Because watching him in the ring, I was just like, please don't die, please don't die, please don't die. You're gonna die. Is he gonna die? I hope he doesn't die. I think he's dead. But it was, I don't know, it was kind of cool. And I wish that they built up Bray Wyatt. I like Bray Wyatt a lot.
Why?
Cool. Bray Wyatt's awesome.
God forbid someone with an actual fucking gimmick should get ahead in the goddamn company.
Dude, he's got, not only does he have one of the best fucking gimmicks that they've had in literal years, and I'm petrified at the idea of Matt Hardy going to WWE because I don't think that they'll give him the creative control that he has right now, which is the only reason his character works, is because it's by his design, which is why most characters have worked. But fuck, man, I'm just... oh, by the way, I was watching Goldust when he was in TNA under the guise of Black Rain. That shit was actually pretty fucking brutal. Him and Abyss.
They gave him kind of the thing is like I think that character would have worked better if he was in better shape and he wasn't on fucking crack at the time.
Oh,
but
dude,
he did pretty well.
The concept and idea of it, there was people saying, "Oh, it wouldn't work because it's too serious and blah blah blah," and I'm just like, that doesn't make any sense. He's now like a dark manifestation of like a Goldust type character, minus like the allure of Hollywood shit that early on that he seemed to talk about a whole lot more, and then eventually just quit talking about. Yeah. But I like this concept and idea. They're like, well, he just looks the same. Who the fuck cares? He's doing something different. Like, it's just a different side of the same coin. Just shut the fuck up and enjoy it. Like, everybody wants to dissect everything. I'm like, be entertained. Just fucking entertained.
And it's funny too, because that was what, 2007? Flip the fucking channel and tell me there was anything on WWE that was even remotely that entertaining anyways. Like, I remember that fucking era. It was Edge feuding against Triple H. Ooh, fuck. Jesus.
Mid-2000s.
Yeah, look at all the veins.
Jesus. Fucking, two roided out motherfuckers who are going to retire early because they're going to tear their fucking
remember
quads.
all the fucking dollars they put behind Ultimate Warrior and Rick Rude?
Hey,
veins.
I still say Rick Rude should have had the belt.
Why?
He never did. That's bullshit.
Why?
Rick Rude is amazing.
But that was back in the era where you could never have the belt and still be over as fuck. It still wouldn't matter. Like, everyone knows Jake the Snake Roberts. Everybody knows him. Never had the fucking belt. Never had a belt.
$1 Million Man didn't have the belt. Jake the Snake didn't have the belt. Let's see.
Hey, wait a minute. Vince gave him his very own belt. Don't give me that shit.
Now, did Big Boss Man? I know Big Boss Man feuded with Hulk Hogan. Did he ever have the belt?
No, he never had the belt.
Yeah, and again, over as fuck. Everybody knows Big Boss Man.
Yeah, he didn't need it. At a certain point, the belt is just extra weight in your bag.
Yeah, that was back in the day when they had such good storytelling. You could be as over as Hogan, as over as Savage.
Well, and also back then, people their imaginations weren't burned out. So if you saw two dudes fighting, you could imagine, well, let's see what happens, and just leave it at that.
Yeah,
it didn't need to be action, adventure, entertainment, and so called.
Now, I am excited about one thing that they did, but I think that it's not working as well as it should. Is they brought in the cruiserweight division, which is long overdue. As a matter of fact, their feeble attempts at it. Taka Michinoku is the light heavyweight champion and the only light heavyweight champion, ever.
And then they did have the cruiserweights in the mid 2000s. They had Ultimo Dragon in the company, and they brought in the cruiserweight belt. They had fucking Juventud Guerrero was in there. They had the Mexicools. And there was
all that still sounds.
Tajiri had the light heavyweight belt for a brief period.
Yeah, they did. Well, it wasn't.
Yeah. Tajiri is the fucking man.
I mean, Tajiri is a bad motherfucker, but the way that they always treat it, like, they always end up treating those things like shit. And I feel that since they've been picking NXT clean of everything, and they're still going to, because Samoa Joe is going to end up getting called up. And it's just a matter of time. And Finn Balor is going to be back off of his.
Or is Raw going to look like Impact Wrestling from 4 years ago?
To be honest, man, AJ Styles has been doing really good there.
Well, their ratings already match TNA.
I don't like him. I don't know why I don't like AJ Styles. He talks like he has a mouthful of shit, and I don't. I'm sure he was great 7 years ago, but now this bullshit he's doing with Jericho and whatever he's done lately, I just don't care. And I don't know, maybe it's I'm biased against people from the Southeast. I don't know. No, that's not true, because I like Shane Helms and he has that same mouthful of shit talk that AJ Styles does. I just don't like AJ Styles. I don't get it.
I like Shane Helms.
I'm also pissed because they fucking use Fergal Devitt like shit. They have treated that kid like a fucking hole in a dick.
No, they need to take the cruiserweight division and put it on NXT, the entire division. Just move it over there. And I think since SmackDown won, they get 3 picks from the Raw brand. So they just get to take 3 guys. If I was them, I'd be a dickhead and I'd take Kevin Owens, because then they'd have both heavyweight belts. And I'd be like, you don't have anything at all now until we do crossover shit. And I mean, Raw's ratings are slipping to the point that SmackDown's beaten them in the ratings numerous times.
That's a shorter show is beating them. Probably because it's shorter.
There's good reasons why. A while back, whenever they did the brand split, originally they had Paul Heyman as the head writer to all that shit, which was perfect, and he should always be put in a position like that because the dude is smart as fuck and actually gets the business from both sides, which is rare. And
he also gives the business from both sides. Don't forget about that.
I mean, he is known for being a shithead when it comes to being a businessman, but an idea man he's very good at. But they've got separate groups of creative, and that stuff's been working really well for it, and it reflects in the product. Like everything that they've been doing, they have less to work with and have been doing better because of it. Raw has everything, and it's just you're kind of sitting there like this.
Well, and you also recognize that the only thing raw about that show is its name.
Yeah. It doesn't even. I mean, even in the very beginning, when it was still kind of a neutered product, you know, the very first episode of Raw, when you still have Heenan on fucking TV and whatever the fuck, it still feels more raw than this shit.
I mean, eventually something's got to give where they need to just like own up and tell themselves, yeah, so we need to just like go all out like we did in the 90s because you don't have competition anymore, but you do have bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So maybe just pretend that's the competition because, well, you bought everybody else and you didn't do shit with WCW or ECW other than put the tapes on the WWE network. And by the way, don't watch the ECW stuff on the WWE network. Go watch it on YouTube if you can go and find it, or whatever website that's fucking sharing the original shit, because they've chopped that the fuck up. And they've
I imagine so.
It's horrifying. It actually makes me sad as somebody who's gone to way too many of those fucking shows.
And it's funny too because you'll watch episodes of Raw from the Attitude Era, and there was I'm watching the episode where Goldust burns the suit and he burns the character, and he's going to be Dustin Runnels from now on. This is like 1998 or whatever, and he's like, I'm done with this. I've lost my family. I've lost my everything. And he's like, and why did it happen? And this guy in the crowd in the front row shouts as clear as crystal, because you're a faggot. And he's like, and Dustin like literally stumbles and is like, well, why did it happen? And the guy shouts again, because you're a faggot, Rhodes.
All of a sudden, it just cuts, and it's like back and to the left, back and to the left.
And they don't clean up the WWE Attitude Era stuff at all. They don't at all. I mean, there's nipple slips and all kinds of shit on the fucking Attitude Era.
If there's anything with Jacqueline showing up, there's nipples somewhere. It's a matter of fact, I think that she, in her job description, it was like, your titty has to pop out at least once a month. Oh, all right. Sign that shit and be done with it.
All right.
And Terry
Reynolds, fucking Jeff Jarrett.
Like, they had some kind of deal with Terry Reynolds in 3D glasses. There's no fucking way that they didn't try marketing that shit, because I swear to fucking Christ, I could almost feel them grazing against me.
Okay, wait a minute. I just want to say, now that we're talking about Terry Reynolds' nipples, that must mean it's time to get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning into the brand new Hate Bit podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. You can kiss my dick, and you can follow us all here on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and your mom's house and all that shit. Fuck all of you. See you next week.
Fuck you.